If you're over 65 and you've been doing everything you were told to do to stay healthy, taking daily walks, trying to stay active, keeping busy, this might surprise you. What if one of the most common habits older Americans rely on to stay in shape is no longer giving the results it once did? And what if there's a simpler, safer way to regain strength, balance, and confidence without spending hours outside or risking a fall? This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Across the United States, millions of older adults walk every day, believing it's enough to protect their mobility. They walk around the block, through the mall, or down quiet neighborhood streets. And while walking is certainly better than sitting all day, many people are quietly noticing something unsettling. Despite staying active, standing up feels harder, balance feels shakier, and simple tasks take more effort than they used to. Maybe you felt it yourself. Grabbing the railing when climbing stairs, pausing before stepping off a curb, using your hands to push yourself out of a chair. These changes don't happen overnight. They sneak in slowly, often dismissed as just getting older. But aging itself isn't the real problem. The real issue is how the body is being challenged, or not challenged after a certain age. Here's the question that deserves your attention today. What if staying independent at 75 or 80 depends less on how far you walk, and more on how well your muscles, balance system, and nervous system are being trained right now? In the next few minutes, we're going to break down what's really happening inside the aging body, why so many people underestimate this issue, and what research is revealing about safer, more effective ways to protect strength and stability later in life. Before we continue, take a moment and tell us your age and where you're watching from. We read every comment, and it helps others realize they're not alone. Let's start by understanding why this issue is so commonly overlooked. To understand why so many active older adults still struggle with strength, balance, and confidence, we need to talk about what actually changes inside the body after 65, and why these changes are so often misunderstood. For most of our lives, movement feels automatic. We stand up, walk, reach, and turn without thinking about it. But as we age, the body doesn't simply slow down. It becomes more selective about how it adapts. Muscles respond differently to activity. The nervous system processes balance signals more slowly. Joints and connective tissues need more specific stimulation to stay resilient. Here's where many people go wrong. Walking is familiar. It feels safe. It's been recommended for decades. So when energy drops or balance feels less steady, the natural response is to walk more. Longer walks, more steps, more laps around the neighborhood. But walking mainly works the body in one direction, at one intensity and in one pattern. It doesn't challenge the muscles that help you rise from a chair. It doesn't train the stabilizers that catch you when you trip. And it doesn't stimulate the brain-body connection responsible for quick reactions and coordination. This is why some of the most common warning signs appear even in people who walk regularly. Needing arm support to stand up, feeling unsteady on uneven ground, hesitating on stairs or curbs, slower reaction when you lose balance. These signs are often brushed off as normal aging, especially by people who don't want to complain or burden their family. But ignoring them comes with real consequences. Loss of strength and balance doesn't just limit mobility, it increases fall risk, reduces confidence, and slowly shrinks daily independence. The people most at risk aren't those who do nothing. They're often the ones who believe they're already doing enough. Many older Americans care for grandchildren, drive themselves to appointments, manage households, and try to stay independent for as long as possible. When subtle weakness or instability creeps in, it can feel frustrating and confusing, because the effort is there, but the results aren't. The good news is this: the body at 65, 75, even 85 is still highly adaptable, but it responds best to specific, targeted challenges, not just more of the same movement. In the next section, we'll break down what's actually happening inside the muscles, joints, and nervous system, and why certain simple movements can make such a powerful difference. To really understand why strength, balance, and confidence decline with age, even in people who stay active, we need to look beneath the surface. This isn't about motivation or effort, it's about biology, and more specifically, how the aging body responds to movement. 1. What actually changes inside the body after 65? After the age of 60, the body undergoes several quiet but significant shifts. First, muscle tissue becomes less responsive to low-level activity. This process, known as age-related muscle loss, doesn't just affect size, it affects function. The muscles most impacted are the ones responsible for posture, stability, and power. The legs, hips, and core. Second, the nervous system slows down. Messages from the brain to the muscles take slightly longer to travel. This delay is small, but it matters when you stumble, turn quickly, or need to catch yourself. Balance isn't just about strong legs, it's about fast communication between the brain and the body. Third, the body becomes more efficient at conserving energy. While this sounds helpful, it means that familiar movements, like walking at a steady pace, no longer challenge the system enough to stimulate improvement. This is why many older adults notice a gap between activity and ability. They're moving regularly, but they're not getting stronger, steadier, or more confident. 2. Early warning signs versus advanced symptoms. The body usually sends signals long before serious problems appear. Early signs often include slight hesitation before standing up, using hands to push off from a chair, feeling less stable when turning quickly, avoiding uneven ground without realizing it. These signs are subtle and easy to ignore, but over time they can progress. More advanced symptoms may include difficulty climbing stairs without holding a rail, needing frequent rest during short walks, fear of falling even without a recent fall, reduced confidence leaving the house alone. At this stage, many people start limiting their activities, not because they can't do them, but because they don't trust their bodies anymore. This loss of confidence often accelerates physical decline faster than aging itself. 3. Why walking alone stops being enough. Walking remains a healthy habit. It supports heart health, circulation, and mental well-being. But after a certain age, it has clear limitations. Walking uses mostly the same muscles in the same pattern, rarely challenges balance beyond a basic level, doesn't load muscles enough to maintain strength, doesn't train reaction time or coordination. Think of it this way: walking keeps the engine running, but it doesn't strengthen the brakes, steering, or suspension. The movements that protect independence, standing up, stepping over obstacles, catching yourself during a slip, require strength in multiple directions and coordination between different muscle groups. These are skills that walking simply doesn't train. 4. The hidden role of the nervous system. One of the most overlooked aspects of aging is the brain-body connection. Every movement you make involves communication between the brain, spinal cord, and muscles. As we age, this system becomes less efficient unless it's specifically trained. When balance exercises are avoided, or when movements that challenge coordination are removed from daily life, the nervous system becomes less adaptable. This is why falls often happen during simple activities, turning around, reaching, or stepping sideways, not during straight-line walking. Training the nervous system doesn't require complex equipment. It requires intentional movement that challenges coordination, stability, and control. 5. Before versus after. What targeted movement changes? Consider two older adults with similar lifestyles. Both walk daily, both live independently, both feel generally healthy. One adds targeted strength and balance movements a few times per week. The other does not. Over time, the differences become clear. Before targeted training, standing up feels effortful, balance feels uncertain, movements feel cautious, confidence gradually declines. After targeted training, standing feels automatic, balance improves noticeably, movements feel smoother, confidence returns. The key difference isn't age, it's stimulus. The body adapts to what it's asked to do. 6. Common mistakes and misconceptions. There are several myths that prevent older adults from training effectively. Mistake number 1. If it doesn't hurt, it's not working. Pain is not a requirement for progress. In fact, safe, controlled movements often produce better results than aggressive exercise. Mistake number 2. Strength training is dangerous at my age. The risk usually comes from poor technique or inappropriate intensity, not from strength training itself. Mistake number 3. I'm too old to improve. The body remains adaptable well into later decades. Research consistently shows improvements in strength, balance, and coordination in people well over 70 and 80. Mistake number 4. Daily activity is enough. Daily activity maintains function. Targeted training builds function. 7. Real-life examples older adults recognize. Many older Americans share similar experiences. A grandmother who avoids carrying groceries because she doesn't trust her grip. A grandfather who no longer plays on the floor with grandchildren because getting up feels risky. A retired couple who plans outings around available seating and railings. These aren't signs of weakness. They're signs of adaptation, often in the wrong direction. When the body feels unreliable, the mind steps in to protect it by limiting movement. Unfortunately, this protective behavior often leads to faster decline. 8. Why specific supported movements matter. The most effective movements for older adults share common traits. They are controlled, not rushed. They challenge balance safely. They engage multiple muscle groups. They involve coordination and awareness. Support, such as using a wall, doesn't make an exercise easier. It makes it safer and more precise. This allows the body to work harder without increasing risk. Targeted movements teach the body how to respond, not just how to move. 9. The long-term consequences of ignoring the problem. When strength and balance decline are left unaddressed, the impact goes beyond physical ability. Loss of independence often leads to reduced social activity, increased reliance on family, higher fall risk, greater fear and anxiety. These changes can quietly affect quality of life long before medical intervention becomes necessary. The encouraging truth is that many of these outcomes are preventable with the right approach. 10. The takeaway from the science. Aging doesn't mean losing ability, it means changing strategy. The body after 65 doesn't need more movement, it needs better movement. Movements that strengthen muscles, sharpen coordination, and rebuild trust between the brain and body create the foundation for long-term independence. In the next section, we'll shift from understanding the problem to practical solutions. Simple, safe habits that support strength, balance, and daily confidence without extreme effort or unrealistic promises. Once we understand why strength and balance decline with age, the next question is practical and important. What can we do about it, safely and consistently? The solution isn't extreme workouts, expensive equipment, or pushing through pain. For older adults, progress comes from simple daily habits that respect the body while still challenging it in the right way. 1. Daily movement with intention. Instead of focusing only on how long you move, focus on how you move. Short sessions of targeted strength and balance exercises, just 20 to 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times per week, can be more effective than longer periods of repetitive activity. Movements that involve controlled effort, steady breathing, and full awareness help the body rebuild strength and coordination. Using support, such as a wall or chair, isn't a weakness. It allows you to move with confidence, which leads to better results and lower injury risk. 2. Nutrition that supports muscle and recovery. As we age, the body needs more protein to maintain muscle, not less. Many older adults unintentionally eat too little protein, especially at breakfast. Simple adjustments help. Include protein at every meal. Stay hydrated throughout the day. Eat enough overall calories to support activity. Food isn't about perfection, it's about consistency and support. 3. Sleep and recovery matter more than ever. Muscles don't get stronger during exercise, they get stronger during rest. Quality sleep helps the nervous system recover, supports balance, and improves reaction time. Even small improvements in sleep habits, such as consistent bedtimes or reducing late-night screen use, can have noticeable effects on energy and stability. 4. Listening to your body's signals. Discomfort and effort are normal. Sharp pain, dizziness, or joint strain are not. Progress should feel challenging but controlled. If something feels wrong, it's okay to adjust, slow down, or rest. Improvement comes from repetition over time, not pushing through warning signs. 5. When to involve a healthcare professional. If you've had recent falls, persistent pain, or medical conditions affecting movement, it's wise to talk with a doctor or physical therapist. They can help tailor movements to your needs and ensure safety. The goal isn't to avoid movement, it's to move smartly. The most powerful prevention strategy isn't doing more, it's doing what your body actually needs at this stage of life. In the final section, we'll summarize the key takeaways and talk about how small steps today can protect independence and confidence for years to come. Let's take a moment to bring everything together. Aging does not automatically mean losing strength, balance, or independence. What truly makes the difference is how the body is supported and challenged over time. Many of the changes people accept as normal aging are actually signs that the body simply hasn't been given the right kind of movement. The encouraging truth is this: Even after 65, the muscles, the nervous system, and the balance system remain adaptable. They respond to consistency, not intensity. Small, intentional actions, done safely and regularly, can restore confidence in everyday movements like standing up, walking, turning, and reaching. You don't need to rush. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start where you are. If one message stays with you today, let it be this: staying independent later in life isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most for your body now. We'd love to hear from you. What is one daily activity that has become harder for you in recent years? Standing up, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or something else? And how many minutes a week do you currently spend on intentional movement? Share your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one, and your experiences help others feel less alone. Thank you for spending this time investing in your health and your future. If you found this helpful, consider watching the next video on your screen. It builds perfectly on what we discussed today and can help you continue making steady, meaningful progress.